look, this Big Five basketball, right? It's we told our team there's going to be runs, you know, and I give Drexel a lot of credit. That's a really good team.
Perfect on the season so far at 3-0 with a Big Five win against the Dragons.
Overtime 2. Tess Mullen up top. Deflection! Score! A double OT winner for the Owls!
Temple field hockey needed extra time at the Big East tourney, but it was well worth the wait.
I'm OwlSports Update Sarah Winton live at the Leocor Center. Coming up later in the show, I'll introduce you to the voice who brings all the hype on game days.
Live at the Temple Sports Complex, I'm Natalie Caranda. Later on in the show, I'll have a look at who runs the show behind these doors in an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour. OwlSports Update is live and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Owl Sports Update. This is Julia Green and I am Michael Merville. Basketball is well underway with 2,000 wins on the horizon for men's hoops.
Field hockey faced the highs and lows of the Big East tournament, along with a wipeout for football against the Green Wave. But let's start with a packed week of basketball. The men's team had 2 matchups this week as the countdown has started for the Owls to hit the 2,000 win mark in program history. Temple started the stretch 6 wins shy of the milestone and were ready to hit the road after their opening night win versus Sacred Heart. Starting off, the Owls headed to the Jersey Jam on Friday and tipped off versus Monmouth. The Hawks grabbed an early 5-4 lead, but that will be their only lead of the game, as here come the Owls. A strong offensive start gave Temple a 20-3 scoring run. Jamal Mashburn was a key part to this offense, sinking a 3 to extend the Owls' lead. Now, going into the half, Temple has a comfortable 21-point lead over the Hawks. Now into the second, the Owls continue to extend their lead with an on-fire offense. Steve Settle sinks a 3 and records a double-double with 17 points and 11 rebounds. Mashburn scored a team-high 25 on the night. Now it's a final score of 103-74 over Monmouth. This marks the 22nd time in program history that the Owls have hit triple digits with their final score. And now a few days later on Tuesday, the Owls are back at home against their Philly foe, this time up North Broad against Drexel in a Big Five Classic prelim. Zion Sanford got the game going and started for the Owls, scoring the first 10 points on the board for the Owls. The Dragons fought to keep it close, however. Neither team was able to get more than a 5-point lead during the first 12 minutes of the half. Now from the 3-point line, it's Stanford again as the Owls are up 37-32 going into the half. Start of the second, the Owls stay active under the net as Quante Berry is able to grab the rebound and secure the tip-in. Dragons with the turnover as the Owls start to quite literally run away with it as Zion Stanford slams it in. The Owls take the win in their first Big Five matchup of the season. Final score 69-61 over Drexel. Temple's 3-0 in the year.
And a great credit to these guys. You know, I think they did a really nice job late game of being under control, being cool, calm, and collected.
Switching over to the women's side, the Owls were a bit disappointed in their season opener last Monday in the loss to Richmond. This is a program trying to build off its regular season conference title last year, and they're hoping fans will take notice.
There was a pep rally at the Bell Tower and a doubleheader to open up basketball for the men and women back on November 4th. Yes, the women's team is coming off its first ever regular season conference title. Richardson and company were by far the biggest surprise in Temple's athletic department last school year. But 8 months later, the question is, will the fans take notice? About 3,400 fans showed up to the men's game, and some stayed for the women. But overall, fan attendance is down for the women. Last year, Temple averaged about 1,200 fans per game, down about 36% from the year prior, when the women's team moved its games from McGonigal Hall to the Leah Corr Center. And some of these fans who stayed on opening night for both games of the doubleheader took notice.
Unfortunately, if you look around, a lot of the fans leave after we had a doubleheader tonight with the men's game, and it's just important that we have equal fans for girls, so they see that the people are out here cheering for them.
During the men's game, Richardson encouraged the fans to stay and watch the women's team, and the ones who did made sure their presence was known.
Win or lose, the support does not go unnoticed. But for women's basketball fans, there's still a long way to go.
It's a male-dominated sport, but I feel like girls have a lot to show when it comes to the sport too. And we don't give them enough credit.
The Owls are trying to inspire a new generation of women's basketball fans, the same ones who might attend the men's game, convincing them that the women's game has just as much to offer.
Now away from the Leah Corr Center, the team headed to Delaware to take on the Blue Hens last Tuesday. The Owls secured a road win as Tariana Gary had another strong performance with 17 points. Anissa Rivera was also a key component for the Owls, racking up 11 points. Right behind her was Tristan Taylor with 10 points and 7 assists. Final score 67-56, Temple over Delaware. The Owls are back on the road to face the VCU Rams this Friday.
Coach Richardson credits some of the team's recent success to a bunch of players who aren't even on the roster. The women's team spends a lot of time practicing against a group of guys who are referred to as the practice squad. OwlSports Update's Emily Dino-Terrace is live at the studio set to explain. Hey, Emily.
Michael, the success of a team always starts at practice. The women's team is currently 1-1, and their early accomplishments this season wouldn't be possible without a special group of men known as the Scout Squad. Braden Huntington plays college basketball, but he'll never suit up, let alone play a minute on the court.
It means the world. They make us feel like we're family. It's a great time, and the connections that we get to build here are just amazing.
The squad is made up of dedicated student athletes whose job is to act as the opposing team during practices. Their goal is to simulate real game situations and to bring the heat on game day. Aaron Thomas is the man in charge of putting this team together. He builds a scout team that includes strong former high school players, some who might have been good enough to play small college ball.
So I will go over to the rec gym and I'll play a few games with the guys and I'll kind of do some scouting. I find guys who are actually able enough to compete against these girls who are D1 level basketball players.
These scout players attend as many practices as possible depending on their schedule. They attend home games and some even travel to some away games.
It means everything, we come as a family, it's very family oriented.
It means the world to me, because if I could still play basketball, I would.
It's a great opportunity to do it other than going to the campus rec. We get to come in every day. We get to make our own little team with our own scout guys, build our own unit in chemistry, and then, we get to carry that year over year and keep going against the girls. So.
The scout team's dedication does not go unnoticed by the scholarship players on the women's team.
After practice, they help me with my shots. We also hang out outside of basketball. We'll go to a basketball game or get food or just chill.
From the practice court to the home court, the scout team has the energy that is extremely rewarding to the women's team. They are part of the team, even though you'll never find them on the score sheet. This scout team will never hit the court, but they still get rewarded. Not only with lifelong connections, but if the Owls take home a championship, they can receive championship rings. Reporting from the studio set, I'm Emily Dino-Terrace. Guys, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Emily. Break time. Coming up, the Big East wasn't very easy for Temple football against nationally ranked Tulane.
And the field hockey team makes a run in the Big East tournament up in Providence, Rhode Island. The Owls are working overtime when OwlSports Update returns.
Field hockey kicked off its postseason run in the Big East tournament semifinal up in Providence, Rhode Island for their first game on Friday. The Owls were undefeated at home in the regular season, but they really struggled on the road with just 2 wins in 9 games. In Game 1, the second-seeded Owls faced off against third-seeded Old Dominion. Setting the stage versus the Monarchs, ODU scored 5 minutes in, making the score 1-0. But with 9 minutes left in the fourth, a corner shot gets to Peyton Rieger and Lena Nielsen knocks it home to tie the game. The Owls celebrate as they head into not just one, but double overtime. But good things are going to come to those who wait. 3 minutes into the second extra frame, it's a shot by Augustina Tucheri that finds the back of the net to push the Owls over the number 20 Monarchs. Final score, 2-1.
2 days later, at the same venue, the Owls headed to the Big East Tournament Final against the conference top seed in UConn. This was Temple's first championship game appearance since 2015. But unfortunately, this is where Temple's run comes to an end after a third quarter penalty shot gave UConn the edge. Your final in the Big East Championship, 1-0. Temple ends its season at 12-8. The Owls traveled to New Orleans Saturday for this matchup against a Tulane team that is undefeated in the conference. Like most teams, the Green Wave utilizes the run against Temple and finished with more than 300 rushing yards, including that 45-yard run by Tulane that led to a touchdown. Now, as the clock runs out for the first half, Tulane tries a Hail Mary, but the Owls' Jamil Johnson intercepts it. Temple was not able to produce at all throughout the game offensively until it was well out of reach. Therese Worthy puts 6 on the board for the Owls with an untouched 75-yard and the touchdown. But unfortunately for the Owls, that is it, and your final, Tulane 52, Temple 6. Another game that leaves Stan Drayton searching for answers.
No, we are enduring the process, we're enduring the tough times and staying positive with our mindset and really locking in on today and tomorrow.
The Owls allowed 327 rushing yards in the bout, something that has been a constant problem for Temple this season. OwlSports Update's Miley Myers is at the studio set to take a deeper look at this season-long struggle. Hello, Marley.
Thanks, Michael. After a tough weekend on the field, Temple's football team is looking for a fresh start as they gear up for their last stretch of their season. The Owls are trying to improve upon their future by learning their issues of the past.
Temple's defense was under attack this past weekend, with its most recent loss coming against Tulane 52-6. This was the 7th loss of the season for the Owls, and like most losses this year, it's hard to find good news.
This is Worthy. Therese Worthy's got...
Except for Therese Worthy and his 75-yard touchdown run late in the game.
On defense, 23 missed tackles for over 160 some odd yards there, and that's the one thing that stands out for sure.
Tulane's offense absolutely dominated with the help of its quarterback, Darian Mensah, and their running back, Mekhi Hughes, who helped Tulane rack up nearly 600 total yards.
It's just, again, credit to Tulane, the product of the running back that they had out there and the receivers. They were very, very stout football players.
With just 3 games remaining on Temple's schedule, the Owls look forward to going into this game with a clean slate. For Drayton, this game will look oddly familiar as he faces off against his former colleague, Tom Herman.
Just trying to go out there and make sure we execute our plays how we're supposed to execute, make sure we're in the right gaps, make sure we fit the right things, make sure we're giving each other the right checks.
This might be Temple's best bet at one more win. The FAU Owls are winless in the AAC, and Temple is home for this mid-November matchup.
Temple has 2 wins on the year. With a W against FAU on Saturday, the Owls will match last year's win total. Reporting from the studio set, I'm Marley Myers. Guys, back to you at the desk.
The Owls will start the last 3 games of the season at home against Florida Atlantic. Both teams hold the exact same record at 2-7. This will be the first ever matchup between these 2 football programs. The game will start at 2 p.m. and be broadcasted live on ESPN+.
We're headed into our second break of the day. When we return, a graduate volleyball player who has left an impact during her time at Temple. And the student behind, or should I say in front of, the student section. OwlSports Update will be back in just 90 seconds.
Welcome back. Over the weekend, men's soccer finished its season falling to Charlotte 3-1 in the first round of the AAC Championships. This was the first time in 3 years that the Owls earned a spot in the tournament. The Niners scored 2 goals in the first 10 minutes of the match, and the Owls couldn't respond. Temple finishes the season with a 5-7-5 record, a nice improvement in Brian Green's second season with the Owls.
Volleyball took on Tulane at home for senior night on Friday night. Freshman Sydney Jones had a double-figure match with a total of 13 kills. First set is going to go to the Owls 25-23. Fellow freshman Christina Green had a standout performance with a career-high 15 kills. Owls are also going to take the second set 25-15. Final set, Tulane tries to hang on with the set tied 5-5. The Green Wave was led by Avery Burks. Both teams traded points and Tulane earned a set point, but the effort was met with 4 straight points by the Owls, led by 2 kills from Green. Temple gets the sweep, 3-0.
Graduate student Taylor Davenport finished with 11 kills in the match, thus topping 1,500 career kills at Temple. Davenport has many decorated accomplishments in her career with the Owls, as it's all about to end. OwlSports Update's Mylene Marlin takes a look.
It's been a standout season for Taylor Davenport. In her final year, Taylor has cemented her place as a cornerstone of Temple volleyball.
I feel like I've really grown a lot, gained a lot of confidence, learned how to be a team player, be a team leader.
From her first match to her final set, Taylor embodies what it means to be a Temple Owl, and when it comes to kills, she's often celebrated. Davenport ranks 6th on Temple's all-time list.
Looking back, freshman Taylor, I was in the middle, getting all these kills was never even something that crossed my mind, so I'm just super grateful to be able to do that and do that for this program.
Davenport looks the part. She stands at 6'1" and often plays above the net. She currently has 1,507 kills with 2 matches to go.
My teammates, they've had my back through a lot, and we always kind of push each other in practice, support each other. The bonds that I've made with my teammates have really, really helped me and helped me feel comfortable to go after it, take big risks, and take on a whole new position.
Temple fans have been with Taylor Davenport since the beginning of her journey. From unranked seasons to record-setting success, she has made her mark on Temple volleyball's team. For Taylor Davenport, this is just one chapter in a lasting legacy that will live on well after she graduates. At Pearson McGonigal Hall, I'm Mylene Marlin, OwlSports Update.
Now back to some hoops. Basketball games bring an exciting experience for each fan in attendance. However, during timeouts, play reviews, and halftime, fans need some hype. So we're hyped up to bring in OwlSports Update's Sarah Winton, who is live at the Leacourt Center to talk more about the team's newest game day hype person. Hey, Sarah.
The official title is in-arena host, but the fans call her the hype woman. It's her first year in this role, and so far, Corey Parker is doing good. Corey Parker will see just about every second of every home game this season, but the sophomore will almost never take a seat in the student section. Parker is one of Temple's in-arena hosts, which is the nice way of saying she brings the hype. She brings the energy to help keep fans engaged.
At the end of the day, yes, people are here to watch the basketball game, but to make sure that their experience is full and just engaging and fun, I think that I play a big role.
Parker leads the chants and fires up the crowd during timeouts and halftime. She also runs on-court contests. In other words, Parker is non-stop for the better part of 2 hours on game days.
Get set, go!
For Corey, it's a role that goes beyond making simple announcements. It's about creating a community and making each fan feel like they're a part of the game. The host's connection with the crowd can make all the difference, leaving a lasting impact on fans such as Eli Barnett.
I'm ready. You're ready? Let's direct our attention to the video board.
getting singled out and like trying to do one of those tasks, like that's pretty memorable, like something I'm probably not going to forget for a little bit.
But really just engaging with them, so it's not like I'm just going to you to get on the camera, but also just getting to know you as a person as well.
It's the in-arena host who keeps the spirit alive game after game. It's all about making game day a good day for Temple fans. And Corey doesn't just handle basketball. You can catch her next at the football game this Saturday against FAU at 2 o'clock. Reporting live from the Liacouras Center, I'm Sarah Winton. Natalie, over to you at the sports complex. Thanks, Sarah. About a half a mile down the road is another one of Temple's athletic jewels. When we return, I'll have an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of the Temple Sports Complex with women in charge. See you in 90 seconds. Welcome back to OwlSports Update. Fans flock to the Temple Sports Complex to support the 4 teams that call this facility home. But aside from the athletes, not many get to catch a glimpse of what's on the inside of the building, aside from the locker rooms and many other amenities. The heart of hustle on campus. It's the Temple Sports Complex, where 4 varsity teams put in the work during both the fall and spring semesters. The $22 million sports complex was completed in 2016 and is located right on Broad. Athletes on lacrosse, field hockey, and both soccer teams are housed here. This is where everything from practice to game time takes place. Elizabeth DeFelice gave us a tour around the facility. She's the director of equipment operations and makes sure this place is ready to go at all times.
Not a 9 to 5, unfortunately.
And it's non-stop.
We're here 3 to 4 hours before the game so we can set up the uniforms and get everything prepared for the athletes.
Each team has its own preference. Each locker room is different and showcases the team's culture. First stop, field hockey.
Extremely into that close family atmosphere, giving each other positive reinforcement before a game, so they'll write each other little notes before a game.
Field hockey is fall, lacrosse is spring, which means Elizabeth isn't spending as much time here right now. Lacrosse also uses different technologies to get ready, such as performance trackers.
They have a sports bra that they wear that they put in the back and it tracks their mileage out at practice.
Then there are other advancements that the teams do share, such as their electronic nap pods.
These are just a little nap pod. You can slide in there, lay down, there's some music you can play, and then you just enclose yourself in there.
The last stop, and most important, at least for Elizabeth, is her workspace. It is full of everything from laundry machines to uniforms to overstock.
Uniforms I hang up because I don't dry them. It makes them last a little bit longer. Uniforms, we go every 3 years, so we keep a uniform for 3 years. Men's soccer, they're big on the T with the 2 stars, and the 2 stars are for the 2 national championships we have.
The common theme at the Temple Sports Complex, everything has a place, and Elizabeth is key to it all. While anyone can come enjoy the outside where the games are played, the inside is only open to faculty and athletes and is where these teams prepare for game time and bond during crucial parts of their day. That's all I have from the Temple Sports Complex. I'm Natalie Caranda. Julia and Michael, back to you at the desk.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. Be sure to tune in next week when Natalie joins Gabriel Linnington for their final Thursday show before Thanksgiving break. On Mondays, catch the Sports Brief talking weekend results on social media and Inside the Nest live on Tuesdays.
On behalf of all of us here at TV Studio 3, I'm Julia Green. He's Michael Merville. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.